Good evening. Good evening. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our evening. A few minutes late, but I want to say welcome to Northeastern at 300 Mass Avenue. My name is Steve Hawkins, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement and Philanthropy in the Office of Alumni Relations. I just want to say, whenever someone comes to this building, I always like to tell them why we're having Compass Awards here. So most of you may not know this space doesn't look like this every day. It's normally tables and chairs for students to study. So we thought it was only appropriate that we have the Compass Awards here, which actually symbolizes the excellence of our students at the university. So we're glad to have you here. And I have the privilege of, if you will, being the superintendent of this building. So my office is here, and I make sure this place looks the way it looks every day. So I'm very proud to have people come. And as a Southerner, whenever you come to a Southerner's house, we always make sure you know all the things we have in our house. So this is my house. Upstairs on the second floor, if you get a chance to go up, you'll notice that there's furniture everywhere. Because this is a student space, we allow the students to be our interior decorators, which means we don't move the furniture. However the furniture's moved, however they leave it, we just clean up to make sure it's vacuumed. So we're glad you're here. This marks our 17th year of the Compass Awards program, my 8th year here at the university, and we're very, very glad to do it every year. It's always amazing to read the nominations and all the letters that come from the colleges. So, without further ado, I want to actually welcome our Compass Award recipients who are going to walk down so you can see their wonderful faces. And I'm remiss to say, I also forgot to welcome all of those who are joining us virtually. We recognize that we're in a small space, but we wanted to make sure anyone in the world who wanted to join us can, and they are, via live stream. I also want to take the opportunity to ask anyone who's a parent of one of our award recipients, anyone who's a parent, let's have the parents of any of our award recipients. We have to have some parents. Let's have you stand. Let's have you stand. Because what we recognize is the recipients here are not here because of their own doing. They're here because of the things you've done and the sacrifices you've made. So we thank you for all the things you've done to get these folks here. And without further ado, I think I'm just going to go right into the program and start it off. So we're going to just go through the program. We'll have each college introduce their recipient. And we're going to start with our College of Arts, Media, and Design. So my good friend, Sarah Carr, if you want to join us here. So Jake, you actually are going to set the bar. So whatever you do will be what others do. So if you mess it up, it's going to be on you. So just a quick thing is, so Sarah will tell us all about you. You will join her. She'll give you the award, you take a photo, and then you will tell us your remarks, and then you'll have a seat. So Jake, it's all on you. So.
Hi, Jake. I know Jake can handle it, and I will tell you why. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Carr. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Architecture and also the undergraduate programs coordinator. We, the faculty, unanimously voted Jake to nominate Jake for this award, and we're so happy he was selected across the entire College of Arts, Media, and Design. We are several departments, and let me tell you why we nominated him. Jake, first of all, has excelled academically, as I'm sure everybody here has. He is at the top of his graduating class. But last year, as a junior, Jake actually received the School of Architecture Portfolio Prize, which is the only time a non-senior or non-graduate architecture student has been recognized with our school's top design honor, which recognizes overall design quality across a student's full period of study. And it's hard to describe this with words, but indeed Jake is one of the top designers in his class. That's immediately what everybody in the faculty said. He's also probably the undergraduate that's been selected as a teaching assistant the most times during his undergraduate career, including my teaching assistant one semester, and he did fantastic work. Professor Mary Hale in our department said that Jake is a quiet star in our department. He is humble, highly talented, hardworking, and incredibly generous with his time, and I noted that as well. He always helps students outside of his office hours, and he's an incredible resource to his peers. Most of all, what we noted is that Jake is also the co-literary editor and also the founding editor of our new student-led publication, Infrastructures, which has identified its mission as working to provide the emerging professionals of Northeastern School of Architecture an outlet to explore their fascinations beyond the boundaries of studios. This is completely volunteer work that he took on himself. The journal won the highly prestigious National American Institute of Architects Haskell Award for Student Journals, so it's nationally recognized. It's often given to a graduate school of architecture, so it's also amazing that it was awarded to an undergraduate. It was also recognized with the Northeastern Peak Award. In addition to serving as editor, as I said, Jake is a talented designer, and he has designed almost every cover of Infrastructure since it came out as well. Lastly, I just wanted to conclude by talking about why Jake is uniquely an incredible Northeastern student, and that is he has found a passion for urban design, and he has pursued that through the classes he's taken, through his interests, through his co-op, and actually one of our faculty members and also his co-op supervisor, Tim Love, who oversaw Jake's role at UTEAL, which does many of our public projects, which shapes our beautiful urban landscape of Boston, said that Jake is mature, sophisticated, and skillful far beyond the expectations of an undergraduate. So we just think that Jake wraps up every aspect of the best that Northeastern has to offer. He has capitalized on all the resources and paths of study that have been offered to him, and excelled beyond that to pursue his passions both inside and outside the classroom. So it is my incredible honor to present this award to Jake.
Can I put it down? Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah, for such kind words. Well, I wanted to start by thanking the Alumni Association for putting all of this together and for letting me pretend to be as incredible as the other award recipients. I wanted to start by saying that sort of the beginning of my studies at Northeastern, the director of the program and our professor, Dan Adams, brought us all under the same roof, and this was also under the Ruggles train station. In case you didn't know, that's where the architecture school is. He brought us all there, and he pointed at a city skyline, and he asked all of us, what is it that the architect designed? And many of us said the buildings or the roads, and of course they were right, but Dan smiled in this moment, and he said, or he asked us, and now I'm paraphrasing because this was 5 years ago, he said that architecture is so all-encompassing and it impacts every inch of the planet because of the environmental considerations. What about the clouds? And this comment really stood out to me for the longest time, and it still impacts me to this day. So I wanted to thank my friends, my peers. So the reason I'm here is to thank them for pushing me to be the greatest designer that I could be. I'm here to thank my professors who've inspired me and taught me how to pursue my dreams. And I'm here to thank my family, my parents, my 2 brothers, who have always supported me throughout my life to pursue my dreams. I'm here to thank you all because with your support, I'm able to design the clouds. Thank you.
Jake, you did a good job, so the rest of you have to follow. One thing I failed to mention that also is a great honor for us, so the Compass Awards actually kicks off the award season at the university. So this is the first set of awards. Of all the awards we do, I'm always first, so I'm excited to have the Compass Awards first. We'll have the Academic Honors next in 2 weeks. We'll have Hunter 100 in 2 weeks, but Compass Awards are first. And you know who goes first is the one people remember. So you all know you're the first ones to be honored, so you're the best ones. So. Up next, I have my good friend Lorna Howard from Bouvet. She's the associate professor in the Department of Physical Therapy and Movement and Rehab Sciences, and she's going to present the Compass Award for Bouvet.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lorna Hayward, and I'm an associate professor in physical therapy, and I'm here with open heart, and I'm so happy to have nominated Maria Rengifo for the Compass Award. She really embodies amazing spirit at Northeastern. I'm actually on the awards committee, so you had a little bit of an in. But not deserving otherwise. But what I wanted to say about Maria is that I've known her virtually during COVID, during a course that we had together, but then over the past year during a capstone course where it was culminated in an international service learning experience in Ecuador, where Maria was part of a team of 11 DPT students who provided pro bono physical therapy to orphans in 2 locations. And this was the 15th year of the trip, but I have to say, Maria has been one of the leaders, and of over 200 students that have gone on this trip, she embodies sort of the spirit of leadership, whether it comes to organization of fundraising, where she took the leadership role in a fundraising effort that generated between $9,000 and $14,000 to help offset the cost of the trip. And this fundraiser is so popular, students and faculty ask every year, when are the Patagonias going to come on sale? Because they're so excited about that. But she stepped up without a lot of coaxing. And every time we were planning during this trip and we asked for a volunteer to do something, Maria stood up. Whether it was logistics organization, language preparation, cultural preparation, working with the children, motivating her colleagues, running around dogs on the streets of Quito as we went for our runs at almost 1.8 miles high. But Maria's just an amazing individual, and I think one of the things of the Compass Award that struck me, which resonated with you, was that you will be an ambassador once you leave Northeastern. And I think you'll be an ambassador for Latinx culture, for the underserved, and I can't think of anyone more deserving than you. So I really would love to give you a hug, and I'm going to start crying, and I don't ever cry. So we went from architecture and linear to warm and fuzzy in Beauvais, health sciences. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Not as eloquent speaker as he is, but I am truly so thankful for this award. I, as of everyone here, have worked so hard in my past 5 years at Northeastern. I have truly grown so much as an individual, and that's really just thanks to the opportunities from my professors, my peers, and all the experiences that I've been able to take part in. This past year, as Dr. Hayward mentioned, I participated in a project regarding the effectiveness of a Learn to Swim program with caregivers and the sustainability of an aquatic therapy program for children. We were able to travel to Ecuador and work as physical therapists to evaluate orphanage to evaluate the kids there and work with the orphanage staff. Just to make sure, give recommendations regarding their care. From this, I gained so much incredible professional experience, but also leadership skills, and that will carry me into my clinical affiliation starting in May, but also just into my career once I graduate next year. I want to thank Dr. Hayward so much for the nomination and really just the guidance that you've provided me this past year. It's truly been invaluable. And you're someone that I look up to, and once I am older and practicing, I would love to do something like that and lead a trip of kids to another country and provide pro bono PT, because that's something near and dear to my heart. And then I want to thank my family, my loved ones. They have always supported me, especially my mom. She's been there with me from day one. And yes, thank you so much, everyone.
Up next, we have the DeMoore McKim School of Business, Todd Alessandre, who's the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs and an Associate Professor of International Business. So, Todd.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to present one of our excellent students. It's tough act to follow some of these speakers, so I feel like the pressure's on. My name is Todd Alessandri. I've been a faculty member here for about 14 years, and now I'm the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Education. And I bring that history up because by far, Christine Alexandrovakova has been one of the strongest students I've ever seen. We were reading through her file in the awards committee, and it was not even close. So I will give you a few highlights, but these are just highlights, honestly. I don't know, it's hard to summarize, but she truly represents exceptional performance along a number of dimensions. She'll graduate with a business administration degree, concentrating in finance, supply chain, and economics. She completed co-ops at 2 premier companies, Boston Consulting Group and L'Oreal. She's also given back, which I think is an important part of where she rose to the top in our discussions. She's a peer mentor in several areas with global students in OGS, with peer mentoring in our co-op preparatory class. And then she's also served on the executive boards of a number of our clubs, including, NU Impact, Disrupt, and Women in Finance. And this is all while achieving academically. But that sounds great, but it's actually the rest of it which I think was impressive to us the most. She's an accomplished artist. She co-founded Art Blanche, which is an interdisciplinary art club for all majors. And she also has presented her own art in New York City. And this is all while, again, she's a business student, remember that. So clearly both sides of the brain work very well here. She also has worked on faculty research projects related to sustainability and supply chain management, including a published book. She also, during her own spare time, founded her own jewelry company, which utilizes ethically sourced and hand-assembled crystals. So again, a pretty impressive set of achievements that speak for themselves. But I think the one thing that came through beyond all this was the personal side. It's all driven by a passion to make an impact. And so I think with that was what spoke to us about why we nominated her for the Compass Award. So congratulations, Christine.
I'm also not Jake level of a speaker, but so good evening, everyone. Actually, about a month ago, I was watching at the Oscars, and I saw people receiving awards and crying and being so grateful to their moms for everything they achieved. And I called my mom after, and I told her, honestly, you made me the person that I am, and it would be so cool to win something and dedicate it to you. So next morning, I was writing very motivating affirmations, and the moment I got a message from Professor Shambhivani that I was nominated for something, and then a few days later I got an email to write a personal statement again for something, and then a week later I got an email from DeMormakim saying that I was chosen to be the DeMormakim Compass person for this year, and yeah, so here I am. I want to dedicate this award to my mom, and спасибо вам большое, я тебя очень люблю. And yeah, I think it's also just a small example that you can achieve anything if you have a positive mindset and if you have trust in yourself and the world. And the power of our thoughts is very, very impactful. So use them wisely and do good things in the world. And yeah, out of so many students at DeMormakim, it's an honor, truly an honor to be representing DeMormakim. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for this opportunity. And thank you so much for Professor Todd Alessandri and Professor Shambhivani for nominating me. Thank you for C. Hawkins for organizing and communicating with all of us. And thank you for my parents and my siblings and my wonderful friends for, again, shaping me. Thank you, the person I am. And yeah, I really hope that in a few years I'll see all of you grow and we can meet at the actual Oscars and maybe Nobel Prize ceremonies. And yeah, so thank you so much.
Next up, we'll have Max Leader from the College of Engineering, who's the Faculty of Cooperative Education Coordinator for Bioengineering and Chemical Engineering, join us to present the award for engineering.
Thank you, everyone. As stated, I am Max Setter. I work with Bio and Chemical Engineers, Cooperative Coordinator. And it's a pleasure and an honor to introduce the next recipient for the Compass Award. I've known Joseph Blanchett since September of 2019, and it was quickly established in my mind that Joe is the type of human to watch and learn from. He showed himself to be thoughtful and enthusiastic in each of our classes and interactions. Two underlying traits that I have found to be very good predictors of success, not to mention his academic prowess. Joe told me as a bio-E, he picked the biomechanics concentration because he kind of liked physics. His positivity and interest in contributing to his community led Joe to be involved in most everything Northeastern had to offer. And if they didn't offer it, he created it. With peers, Joe founded Coexist, a student group that provides resources and supports to incoming students with diverse backgrounds to help lay a stronger foundation of success for themselves. This is now a COE program. This was when Joe was not training for some athletic event for the NU triathlete team or producing or recording podcasts for the Sherman Center, traveling to Italy for a dialogue of civilization, participating in biomedical society or Beta Theta Pi events. Did I note he was in honors program and also received the National Action Council for Minorities in Engineering, the National Science Foundation in collaboration with the Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, and the Engineering Legacy Scholar recognitions. He was the lead mentor for the NU Summer Bridge program, and he worked his way to lead presidential ambassador for our university and President Joseph Aoun. This man was busy. And this was before everyone that he knew asked him to sit on a panel or come to a program, which he always did. When not on campus, Joe completed his first co-op at Medtronic as a medical device systems engineer, where it was noted that he was instrumental in the development of instructions for use manual allowing submission to the FDA. Joe's second co-op was a systems research and development engineer for Fresenius Medical Care, and he received high marks, and a supervisor commented on his exceptional adaptability, laboratory skills, and eagerness to learn. A third and final co-op cycle in the spring of 22 at WHOOP allowed Joe to utilize all his accumulated skills in the role of an operations co-op, show off his bling. Joe traveled internationally on behalf of the company to aid at their rollout of products and to automate processes for internal and external business needs. He turned his cooperative education experience into a part-time position during his final semester on campus, and ultimately secured a full-time role at WHOOP as an associate business systems analyst, where he began in March. Joe has already started giving back as an alumni. He was at a bio-E undergraduate event for first-year students to help them pick their major the night I heard that he was selected. It was truly great to see him being recognized for what he did naturally. Joe Blanchett was the student with his hand raised, eyes engaged, and lips turned up in a smile. He was always offering his perspective, support, and allyship. There is no better student in the College of Engineering to hold the Compass Award. Congratulations. I hand it to you, and then we turn to that guy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Max. One thing I want to note is when I first met Max, I walked into his class on the first day late because I got the room mixed up. And then when I walked in, I saw my roommate and best friend also sitting there, and we had not communicated anything, and it was a mess, but it was okay. Max and I are now really good friends, which is great. So one thing that I want to start by mentioning is when I graduated high school, one of my teachers that I was really close with said, "You're a big fish in a small pond here, but you're going to graduate and go to college at Northeastern, and you're going to be a big fish in the ocean. And you need to figure out how to navigate that all on your own." And that was intimidating. I got here and quickly found out that nobody expects anything from you. Nobody checks if you're going to class. Nobody checks if you're joining clubs or anything like that. And you just have to do it on your own and figure it out. And with all of those feelings of kind of being lost in the crowd, I felt like I had something to prove to my younger self, who had worked so hard to get here. And now that I was here, I wasn't doing enough. And my first semester was just kind of a mess altogether. And then I just decided, like, okay, I have my friends. I feel like I've figured this thing out a little bit. Now it's time to like build a legacy here, basically. And along with everything that came with that Max had touched on, there was a little bit of imposter syndrome, and I bet that a lot of you guys have felt that. But it doesn't mean that myself or any of you guys are not deserving of being here, because you 100% are. And I think the people that are speaking before us tonight can attest to that. So yeah, my 5 or 4.5 years here have just been all about trying to find my way and make a difference here and build my own path and my own journey. And so I'm really, really honored to be accepting the Compass Award tonight. But as they say, it really does take a village. So I wouldn't be here or be successful without Max. So thank you. Without Dean Richard Harris and Dean Rochelle Reisberg, who's sitting in the back over there. Without C and Alumni Relations and the team over at Presidential Ambassadors, who honestly just kind of took a chance on me. Bioengineering department, everybody. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you to everybody who's here, and yeah, thank you all.
Up next, we have the Corey College of Computer Sciences, Ben Hescott, who's the Senior Associate Dean of Academic Programs and Student Experience.
Hello, I'm Ben Hescott. I'm the Senior Associate Dean of Academic Programs and Student Experience at Corey College. Mira actually had many, many nominations, so there were multiple faculty members, actually an advisor as well, so it fell on me. So I'm very excited to be able to do this. So besides sort of an impressive GPA, sort of studying computer science and linguistics, Mira's in the honors program, has been on the dean's list every semester. Her academic advisor has this to say: there is clear dedication outlined through her impressive academic performance. In all my interactions with her, she is extremely kind, respectful, and has shown initiative in creating and pursuing an academic journey. But the academic side doesn't really tell exactly that journey, so I want to sort of tell a little bit more. So Mira is quoted as an interdisciplinary force, and she says this about being a combined major. So being a combined major in computer science and linguistics has made me better at both of these disciplines. And so as we think about an ambassador for Corey, there's no one better. And the reason for this is in a month, so many of you have heard of the Hippocratic Oath for our health. You've heard of the engineering ring. Corey actually created the computer science oath. And this computer science oath is needed in a day like today. So computer scientists have a great deal of power in how they're going to shape our world. And Mira actually exemplifies exactly on how we want to do that. In that oath, we actually have students realize that they're going to make an impact, and to make an impact for good. So a lot of the projects that Mira's worked on are in online spaces to make them more inclusive. She's contributed to Covey.town, an open source space that's a meetup space. So this is virtual calls, video calls, for people to be able to interact together and to be able to talk. This is open source, so that means that anyone can contribute to it. And the work that she's done is to make it a more inclusive space for everyone. So she's created a feature for users to be able to indicate a particular language that they prefer, their native language, so that they could actually sort of communicate with other people in that same space. Another feature is to keep the text log for people to be able to look at their experiences in the context. And sort of one of my personal favorite projects is that she's actually created a hate speech detection project. And so this is a space using, again, think about this, right? She's computer science and linguistics, using data science, natural language processing, forensic linguistics to be able to detect hate speech in online platforms. So unbelievably critical in today's world. So Mira puts all of this together to create a responsible space to be able to make online a better universe. No better ambassador for Corey. I'm so very excited to be able to present this award. She's done successful co-ops in software co-ops at Power Advocate and HubSpot. She is a force to be reckoned with. We are so very proud. I'm totally gonna drop this thing. Like I saw this and I was like, it's glass.
Hi, thank you so much. I want to thank the Alumni Relations Committee and Corey College. This is such an honor. When I started Northeastern, I was just a linguistics major. I didn't really know a lot about computer science and was honestly kind of scared of it, so getting an award from Corey is not really something I ever expected. The combined major has been a really good experience for me. I think I've had a ton of support pursuing interdisciplinary projects from all my coworkers on my co-ops allowed me to take any story that had anything to do with language and move things around for me so I could do that. I've had plenty of professors that allowed and encouraged me to pursue interdisciplinary projects, like anything language related in my computer science class or like tech related in my linguistics class. So I specifically want to thank Jonathan Bell, Felix Musny, Grace Bucher, Matt Hager, Adam Cooper, and Heather Littlefield for that. And yeah, thank you so much. This is such an honor.
Up next, we have Radhika Sachan, who's the Dean and Professor of the Practice in the College of Professional Studies, who will present on behalf of the College of Professional Studies.
Hi, everyone. I started at Northeastern last July, so every award feels like I'm getting something. So I just want to start by saying I'm so happy to meet all of you, including all my newly found colleagues. I'm excited about being in this vibrant community, so thank you for being so welcoming and just, well, a lot of fun, really. So I want to start by saying I'm super excited to share that I'm going to get this name right, I promise. John Ruggieri Lamb is our Compass Award winner for College of Professional Studies. For those of you that don't know what CPS really does, is that it serves everyone that is trying to accommodate and build on and return to education if and when they didn't have a chance to do it full-time in a traditional setting on day one. Right? So we are the college of possibilities, and we have a lot of students who aspire and work extremely hard to do the amazing things they do in the sequence of everything else they're doing in their lives. And that means we have a lot of phenomenal stories, a lot of heroes, a lot of amazing people with real world impact on a daily basis, which makes John, you kind of a superstar, really. And here are the reasons why, okay? And I've asked him this before we got started. And so those of you that meet him afterward, please ask him to show you his time machine, because this is the amount of things he accomplishes on any given day, okay? So the list is long, so get ready. So not only did he finish his degree bachelor's degree in leadership in December 2022, obviously, doing really well, but that's detail. But he's also enrolled in a master's degree in nonprofit management. What you should know about him, though, is that he is a principal dancer for Boston Ballet, as well as being a part-time faculty member at Harvard University and a devoted family man. He's married to a John. Thank you for being here, John. And his husband, and the father to two lively boys. Did I mention that he and his family were the subjects of an acclaimed documentary, Papa and Dada, directed by a Swiss filmmaker, Daniela Ambrosoli? You are characterized, and your friends and faculty tell us that you are an exceptional person with an unwavering passion, wisdom, strong work ethic, well, that's for sure, kindness, and infectious personality. You are a top performer in your profession, John, and a proud ambassador for Northeastern, and embodying all the essence of our values, which is hard work, a sense of joy, a sense of wonder, and doing impossible things, as I've heard from all of the amazing awardees that to date. So you embody the absolute best of who we are, with your resilience, energy, professionalism, commitment, best of all, sense of fun. Congratulations on being the CPS Compass Award winner. Let's get a picture together. Oh,
Hi, I wasn't prepared to speak at all, but I am very grateful to be here. I started a CPS program when Boston Valley forged this amazing relationship with Northeastern. And I decided, why not go to school? I was fortunate to find my passion in dance. I'm going into my 20th season as a principal dancer at Boston Ballet. So it's a hard ride, tough ride, also raising 2 kids, and teaching at Harvard and at Boston Conservatory. I love my plate being very, very full, but I also am curious about learning. CPS gave me this platform where I could just really explore what it meant to be a college student. I never had that, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for everyone that nominated me, and thank you so much.
Up next, we have the College of Science. Kirsten Fartuk who's our biochemistry program director and associate teaching professor, is going to take care of College of Science.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I'm Kirsten Furtak, and it was just a delight to be able to nominate Nicole Page, and I'd just like to tell you a little bit about some of the things that were so exciting for me to include in her nomination. She has many, many outstanding qualities, as all of our awardees do, and so rather than list them, I'll just tell you about when I saw her most recently, which was this past Saturday. It was Admitted Students Weekend, and I asked her whether she would help represent biochemistry for admitted students and their parents, and this is a big responsibility, and I want to make sure that I have students who are going to put our best foot forward and help to make sure that we convey that biochemistry at Northeastern is the absolute best place to be, and that everyone who's been admitted elsewhere will choose us. And I knew that Nicole was going to be outstanding in this role. I don't choose everything about the format. If I could have, then I would have chosen 4 hours instead of the amount of time that we had, because Nicole has so much to offer, and they didn't fully get to hear everything that she knows. She's able to speak on basically every topic. She is outstanding in research. She's outstanding academically. She has a broad experiences that are fascinating. Her research is very unusual. That's something that I find really interesting about her. In biochemistry, we've never had a student who has been in the music department studying biochemistry. She's looking at effects of Alzheimer's on the brain, and looking at the effects on neural pathways. And so that's a really interesting angle that people find fascinating to hear about. She is very entrepreneurial, and she's been very impactful in the creation of an organization. The acronym is WREN. I wrote it down just in case I forgot, which is the Women's Research Engagement Network, I believe. And this has been extremely helpful to many young women who are interested in getting involved in research and aren't quite sure what path to take. She has so many other volunteer and engagement efforts that she's been involved with. There's so much that she has to offer other people. Her co-ops have been outstanding. She's really just a prime example of how you could start at Northeastern and do absolutely every single thing, and then just in a poised and wonderful way tell other people about it and make them want to do it. So I nominated her before having her as a representative for biochemistry, but of course I knew that she would do a wonderful job. And congratulations. You're so well deserved. Oh, of course. So over here, I think. All right.
So first, I want to thank the Office of Alumni Relations for hosting this great event and also being a longtime supporter of the Interdisciplinary Women's Collaborative, which Ren is a part of. Also want to thank two amazing people I have here, Liam and Emerson, supporting me today, and my parents, who I hope are watching on the live stream, hoping that it's working. So thank you to them. I think listening to all of the other amazing awardees, I think two things that stick out to me as things that I keep hearing people talk about are one, mentorship and interdisciplinary thought and interdisciplinary inquiries. As Professor Furtuck mentioned, I'm a little bit odd in that I am a biochemistry major, but I actually have a really strong interest in neuroscience. I'm a pre-med student, also interested in neurology. And I'm also a musician, so I've played for a long time with the University Wind Ensemble, our orchestras, and music has been a long time, large part of my life. In high school, I ultimately decided that I thought I was going to lean towards medicine because I realized that you could be a doctor and a flutist on the side. However, you cannot be a flutist and a doctor on the side. So I've been really fortunate to not only be able to take part in lots of music and creative endeavors here at Northeastern, but then to also bring that into my research and to cultivate an interest in neuroscience while still being able to use the biochemistry major to get that really small scale understanding that I think is the most exciting thing and one of the things we talked about with students at that Admitted Students Day this past weekend. And so it's been really great to integrate that. I'm also currently working on a senior thesis which kind of exists at the intersections between music, neuroscience, and biochemistry. So it's been really great to lean into that sort of interdisciplinary thought that I think Northeastern has done a really excellent job of celebrating. I've been lucky to get support from the honors program, which I'm a part of, as well as the Office of University Research and Fellowship. So I think that support for students and that I know other people here have received and that I have received has been really instrumental working to push these initiatives forward, whether it's my own research, like I said, or working to support other women and female-aligned individuals in research at Northeastern. So the other thing that I've seen, like I said, a lot of students here as at the university at large take part in is this mentorship. So whether it be through working with admitted students, I also used to be a tour guide here on campus. I think one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about my Northeastern experiences is being able to work with other students and work with younger students and mentor them and bring them up. Because I think Northeastern has a lot of really amazing, excellent opportunities. And I think all of the students here today are a great example of what can happen if you really take advantage of everything that Northeastern has to offer. So one of the things that I've also enjoyed the most is trying to give other students access to these resources, whether it be through creating new resources like Ren or just serving as a mentor to them. So yeah, once again, I said thank you to Alumni Relations and everyone else. Thank you, of course, to Professor Furtuck for being a big supporter of me throughout my studies. Also have to give a shout out to Professor Segi Louie, who has been my research mentor for the last 4 years on campus. And so thank you.
Up next, we have Alicia Walsh, who's a senior cooperative education faculty member from the College of Social Sciences and Humanities.
Thank you very much. I left my notes on my desk, so I might have to cheat on my phone, but hopefully not. So as C said, my name is Lisa Warsh, and I am a senior co-op faculty member in the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, and I was very happy to nominate Katie. It was not a hard decision for me for whom to nominate, and I was not in the room when the college made the decision, but they said it was a very tough decision, and I'm very glad that Katie is the one that's sitting here tonight with us. I've known Katie for a very long time, and Katie took my co-op class during the pandemic and had to learn how to be very agile and dedicated. And Katie also came to us from Boston on the Boston Valedictorian Scholarship, and so also was working part-time most of the time through her time as a student, which not all of our students have done. So I was always very impressed by Katie and her energy and her motivation to kind of give back. She also, when she would choose these jobs, was choosing jobs that had a big social impact and jobs that gave her exposure to things that she wanted to learn more about. So for Katie's first co-op, It was for the fall of 2020. So that was a fun semester. And, you know, and we talked many, many times, and Katie's like, I want to go abroad. I want to do a co-op in Ecuador. And so she got one, she landed a job, and we kept talking, and she kept jumping through all the hoops to see if it was going to be safe enough to go. And she wouldn't give up either. She started off remote and did it for the first 2 months in the summer. And then, anyway, long story short, was still not allowed to go. And so she stayed on anyway and did 20 hours a week remote, and then found another job here in Boston to balance it out so she could have some human interaction, which some people were missing during the pandemic. And so Katie, she got a job at the Transportation Children's Center as an assistant teacher, teacher's assistant. Anyway, long story short, Katie had never really worked with the young children population before and learned so much that she actually enjoyed teaching, and she really enjoyed that audience. And for the MANA project that she was working for in Ecuador, she was already teaching English as a second language classes to people who spoke Spanish, and she was learning how to speak Spanish while she was teaching them. And she was helping kind of serve underserved populations while she was there. And so it was a great success, excellent. And so time comes for Katie's next co-op. Sorry, my stories are co-op related. It's my life. And Katie's like, I'm going to go abroad this time, and I'm really going to go. And I'm like, okay. So she found a great job in Zambia, and I don't know, I always pronounce it wrong, Babuyu, right? Learning Center in Zambia, and was working with all different ages and kind of everything from teaching and workshops to actually creating books that were used to help teach these kids. And loved it to death, actually got to go to Zambia, changed, and was just so happy when I would talk to her because she was where she wanted to be. And then she did another co-op, her third co-op, which a lot of our students don't do anymore, so that was exciting too. And that one was again in Africa, but this time it was in, I'm going to remember, Kenya, at a place called Better Me Kenya. And she was wanting to see the other side of kind of nonprofit work. So not only did Katie do an amazing job for them, she got a break, and she went back while she was there to Zambia, kept doing stuff for them, grabbed all these handmade bags the women made, brought them home to her apartment in Boston, and created a website to sell them so that she could give back to them even when she wasn't working for them anymore. So those are some enlightening and happy stories just about co-op. But then Katie also, like I said, was working part-time and would be like, can you help me find one that is like impactful and paid? You know, and so I'd connect her with, you know, a great organization like Little Brothers Friends for the Elderly, working with the elderly population and helping them feel less isolated. And so education took a theme, which I think was kind of out of the blue, not something she expected, and I wouldn't say that was the main goal, but Katie has been giving back all the time, and she comes to my co-op panels in my class and talks to students, and you know, it's not every day they'll meet someone who's done 3 international co-ops, even though one of the international co-ops was remote. And you know, anyway, she's a pleasure to work with, and I was so happy to nominate her, and I'm very proud of her. And I do want to find this one quote that was really amazing, because as an anthropology student, sorry, I didn't say that, Katie is a cultural anthropology student. So it's very lovely to see someone who's studying cultures want to immerse herself in other cultures and learn from them, not just read about them. And in our college, we love to talk about the experiential liberal arts, and so it's very nice when a student can say that very well. So Katie said that the benefit, in terms of the benefits of her experiential education, her co-ops changed the classes she chose and opened her up to deeper understanding of the world. I want to mention that throughout my co-op experiences abroad and simply just working and speaking with others, I take immense pride that I'm learning anthropology. Anthropology provides a unique perspective that many other social sciences don't have, and this is the ability to critique ourselves and our backgrounds, to break down what we might have been taught, and to learn through an intersectional perspective. Anthropology has the capacity to estrange the familiar and deconstruct surfaces to explain them. All of my courses in my major have greatly aided me in communicating, learning, staying open-minded and curious within the field of education, social justice, and community work. So, thank you. Thank you, Katie. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you for all the other nominees that are here. Congratulations. I want to say thank you to the Alumni Relations for presenting this and putting it all together, and Lisa for nominating me. My time at Northeastern has been long, but so influential on the things that I do. And I think my experience being an anthropology major has really expanded everything that I've been learning and curious about throughout my time. I'm curious about other people, other cultures, why we do the things we do, both at home in Boston, because I grew up in Dorchester, but also abroad. And I think that is an incredibly important part to be reflexive and to give back, is not only by expanding and going away from home, but to come back and really realize what you can do in your own community. And I think that's something that I pride myself in Northeastern, and all of my professors, my family, and my friends have really supported me throughout it all. And yeah, I love talking with people. I love getting to know new people, and throughout it all has been amazing, and I'm very proud of my experiences and everyone else here. So thank you so much.
So because I put the program together, I get to present the award the way I want to present it to the person that we want to present it to from Alumni Relations. So Shandy, please join me. You have to stand up here while I talk about you. So as Shandy comes forward, this is what we do in Alumni Relations. We train you to come stand with us, to talk about what you're doing, to represent the university, to do all the great work that it means to be Northeastern. And Shandy truly, truly embodies what we want to have in our alumni and alumna to be. As many of you don't know, so I'm glad too that I don't have to judge Shandy on her grades. She has excellent grades, but that's not me. So I don't have to go to the classroom, write syllabi, do any of those things. I just get to have good times and do fun things. And so Shandy is the vice chair of our Senior Year Experience Board. And for those who don't know, Alumni Relations actually is in charge of the senior year experience. So we are the people who do senior week and all the senior things outside the classroom. Advancement as a unit, we're also in charge of commencement. So it is very important to us what happens in that senior year, because if you have a great senior year, you will continue to have a great Northeastern experience. And Shandy embodies those things. When I was thinking about who won this award, so we have about 183 students who are leaders in our 4 different groups. So it's very hard for me to pick one senior, because someone's probably mad at me tomorrow when they realize Shandy won this award. But what sealed it for me, the president hosted the Global Leadership Summit in Accra, Ghana, a month ago. Actually, like right at a month ago. And so Shandy was chosen as one of our ambassadors to join us in Ghana. And so if you could have saw how Shandy worked the room, represented the university, and did all those great things, that would be no question why Shandy is obviously the Compass Award recipient for the Office of Alumni Relations. She's majorly a gem for us. And so all the bios that are on the program, the person who wrote them asked me to give a quote, and it took me a little while, but I felt like I came up with a very good quote. So I want to read it word for word of what I told the actual writer, because I'm very proud of this. I don't usually come up with these great words. So this is what I wrote, and it's in the bio. Shandy is a gem that magnifies the luster in the Northeastern crown. The university is a better place because of Shandy's tenacious leadership, and that truly embodies how I feel about Shandy. And I am going to call on Shandy a lot to help us with our Senior Year Experience Board next year. So, Shandy, congratulations. And I'll hold your award. We have to take a picture, so come on.
Hi, everyone. First, I want to thank everyone involved in putting tonight together. I'm truly honored to receive this award tonight. I also want to congratulate my peers on receiving your awards as well. I want to thank my family and friends for all the support over these 4 long and interesting years, especially my mom. Thank you for all the FaceTime calls, especially the late ones, and thank you for being my #1 fan. I'm also extremely grateful for all the countless opportunities and resources Northeastern has provided me to succeed. And last but not least, I want to thank C for presenting me with this prestigious award. Fun fact, when I first met C, I thought he did not like me because he kept picking on me. Except now I realize that he kept picking on me because he never wanted me to get complacent, and he always wanted me to strive for greatness. He's easily become my favorite mentor and role model at this university. And anyone who knows C knows that he moves like he runs the world. He moves like he can accomplish anything and everything, and he does. He does. And he's taught me to adopt that same mindset, and for that I'm forever grateful. So thank you.
So next we present some of our, the last two Compass Awards that are based on, actually, outside of the classroom again, we won one of our awards, the Wendy Breen Klein Award, focuses on a senior who's doing well in the classroom, but who's also excelled in volunteerism outside the classroom. So to present the Wendy Breen Klein Award, we have my good friend Lisa Weinstein, who's the chair of an associate professor of sociology and anthropology, who's going to present our Wendy Breen Klein Award.
Thank you, C, and thank you to everybody here and to the Alumni Relations organization. And it really is my absolute pleasure to give the Wendy Breen Klein Award to Ren Bernholtz. So Ren is a cultural anthropology and theater major, and as one of the themes that I've heard throughout many of the awards so far is really sort of the strength of interdisciplinary and interdepartmental work. Ren really embodies theater and cultural anthropology and brings together the best of these two areas in terms of their curiosity, their engagement in the world, their sort of lust for life. And I had the opportunity to really get to know Ren very well, as those faculty who lead dialogues may know that when you bring students abroad and you have the opportunity to travel with students, you get to know them in ways that you don't get to in the classroom. You see them in challenging situations, having to navigate across cultural difference and cross transnational, cross-cultural engagements that are really kind of challenge students and challenge us as faculty members guiding students abroad. So Ren and I traveled to India together as part of the Dialogue on Civilization program last summer on community-based participatory research and researching in and with communities in India. And while I know and I expect to get sort of close with students, I don't expect that we'll be locked down in quarantine together for a week. So we arrived in India, both of us, COVID positive. I think I may have given them COVID, but we won't really sort out who was the giver and who was the recipient. But we spent a week together as we quarantined at Ashoka University just outside of Delhi, and this is sort of the theme of the comments I'm going to present today. The better I get to know Ren, the more and more impressed I am with them. We say that often about our students, that our students inspire us, and we are genuinely just awestruck by the amazing things that they do, but that holds so far for Ren. I've been at Northeastern for 13 years, and Ren is the first student that I really felt compelled to nominate for this award because they really embody the volunteer spirit and the leadership of the Wendy Breen Klein Award. So I knew that Ren was a strong department leader, community leader, involved in the resident life program, as a resident head, as one of the leaders of the Sociology and Anthropology Student Association in our department. But as I said, the better I've gotten to know Ren, the more impressed I've become. And I was really impressed to learn, as we were just in casual conversation throughout the time on the dialogue, to understand fully the work that Ren has done on campus in terms of expanding reproductive, gender justice, LGBTQ plus rights on this campus and then in the larger community. Ren was very active in getting a Plan B, a vending machine, installed in campus after Roe versus Wade was overturned. understand to ensure that students on this campus and those in the larger community have access to reproductive health and reproductive, supports. Also, Ren has been so involved in gender-affirming care and making sure that students on our campus have access to gender-affirming supports. And it was because of this leadership here on campus that they were invited to go to DC last year and meet with Vice President Harris and actually educate her about reproductive rights and understanding that reproductive rights are not simply something that is necessary for identifying women, but for trans health and for non-binary health, and really helping understand, helping sort of put onto the agenda and make our leaders understand sort of the full range of reproductive and gender justice. And it's that commitment to improving the conditions for students here on campus, for those in their major, for those in the dorms in which they live, but also for the larger society. And this is just a little taste of the amazing things that Ren is going to do throughout their life, and primarily as a sexual and reproductive educator. And I am just excited about all of the things that you will do going forward. And so let us congratulate you on your award.
Thank you so much. First of all, a huge thank you to Alumni Relations for putting together this entire event and for this meaningful award. I truly am so honored. And kind of before I started, just wanted to mention that this is the first time I'm receiving an award with my name, my chosen name, but my name. So that really means a lot. To say I have learned a lot at Northeastern would be an understatement. But I do, in fact, think I can say that there was one most valuable thing that I learned throughout my entire 4 years here, and that is how to build community. And I think it's interesting that you actually mentioned community in your speech, Liza. So how do we build community? It's an art. It's one where we have to craft, we have to create, we have to nourish, we have to foster, and we have to love. And I think my underlying kind of takeaway here is really learning how to love. It sounds like, oh, it's very cliche, but it truly is a practice, and one that I have sustained through community building, whether it be in the anthropology or theater department, whether it's in my WIG, Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies classes, whether it's with my friends, whether it's in my dorms as an RA, creating that community for others. It is an incredibly tough world, especially if you hold any marginalized identity, especially to be a young person coming up right now, or actually really any age. And so to be able to not only be embraced by that love and be embraced by community on so many different levels, but then be able to have the space to practice it and to practice fostering that community among my peers and among my friends has really, truly been such a beautiful experience that I'm so grateful for to have had at Northeastern. Countless individuals have shown me that love and have created that community for me. I guess starting with Danny Snyder-Young for nominating me and for Liza for nominating me and for that beautiful speech. Some professors, obviously education was very central in my time here. Margot Abels, Nina Savanas, KJ Rawson, and Regine John-Charles. To Antonio for being a mentor, for making sure the theater department felt like home even when I was off doing things in a million other departments and a million other spheres, for pushing me and for actually connecting me with my vocal coach who has been instrumental along my gender journey. To the LGBTQA Resource Center, particularly Carter, to Michelle, and to Kevin for making that place be a home and a space be a home for so many other LGBTQ+QA students on campus. To UHCS and Christine Civiletto for treating me like a colleague and for listening to my voice when I said that we needed emergency contraceptives on campus and continuing to be a partner as we figure out what does it mean to provide reproductive rights and reproductive health to students in a world that doesn't want us to have access to that or to have access to inclusive and comprehensive sex education. To my family here, to share, which is a sexual health advocacy resources and education group. I was so lucky to be president for 2 years, and now I'm passing it on to the next generation, which could not make me prouder. Each and every one of the people in that organization is so determined to making sure that people feel seen for who they are and that we're really fighting for a better world. To Jacob Kemp and Blake Hyman, who are in the back, who have shown me what it means to be loved more than I ever thought was possible in a way that I never thought could come anything from someone other than family. And to all of my friends. To my family, Poppy, Dimaj, Grandma and Grandpa, who are on the stream right now, thank you so much for tuning in. To my siblings, Adina and Nathaniel, who are so far away, but I love so very much. And to my mom and dad, who has never let me go a day in my life without being loved. My mom actually texts me good morning, good night every single day, no matter where in the world I am. And so I love you both so much. Thank you all for listening to me, and thank you all for this award. Have a great day.
So for our last award of the evening, we have our Garnet Award, which is an award we've only had around less than 10 years. And we created this award because we awarded a lot of seniors who are doing great things, but there are students who are yet to make it to their senior year that are doing great things that we see stepping into the shoes of those who are seniors. So to present our last award, we have my good friend Belinda Lopez, who's a professor of the practice in theater in the College of Arts, Media, and Design. And I'll just say why Melinda's coming up, I did not rig this that all the theater majors won, but I also was a theater major, so I'm not mad that all the theater people won. So yeah, so Melinda.
This is just profoundly moving, and I feel so lucky to be in the room with these incredible award recipients. It makes me feel like there's hope for us all, and it makes me want to be a better person. I am so honored to be giving the Garnet Award to Donovan Holt. Donovan is a fixture embedded in the Department of Theater. He is everywhere. Donovan is a fourth-year theater major with a concentration in performance and a minor in movement science. Talented director, actor, and choreographer. I first met Donovan when he was sitting behind the front desk in the office in September of 2020. He helped me settle into my first semester at Northeastern with humor and so much kindness, and that is what he brings into every room he comes into. Donovan has performed in a number of the theater department productions, as well as he sings with the a cappella group Downbeats. He was the music director there for 1.5 years. Donovan is dedicated to helping the American theater race towards equity in every facet, and to that end, he's served on the student advisory board at CAMD. He's been on the Department of Theater, Social, and Racial Justice team. He's on the student advisory board in the Department of Theater and was the diversity and inclusion director for Silver Mask, which is the playwriting group. Donovan also works as the building supervisor at the Marino Center. Those of you who get your workout might recognize him there. And last spring, when Donovan was on co-op with the Huntington Theater Company, he made his professional acting debut in Ain't Misbehavin', when he went on as the understudy for an actor who came down with COVID. So we were all very thrilled for Donovan to reach that milestone. In spring of 2022, Donovan received a Peak Award, and he used those funds to go and study specialized movement training in London with the Frantic Assembly Theater Company. His work studying movement unites his love of theater and human physiology. So this semester, Donovan was my assistant director for the Department of Theater production, Everybody, which ran in February. And Donovan staged lifts, choreographed moments in the show. He ran all the warm-ups and music rehearsals. He taught a beautiful choral song to the company, and he assisted me with every artistic and managerial decision, from before rehearsal to leaving rehearsal, and me holding my head in my hands and Donovan saying, "It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine." he also played all the shitty evil things in that production, and that is the name of the character, so my apologies, which was an uncredited cameo and audience favorite every night. I just want to tell a brief anecdote which I think might sum up Donovan Holt. One night we were doing a run-through of the show, which for theater people means you start at the beginning and you go to the end and you don't stop. Early into the run, Donovan whispered in my ear that an actor had gotten sick backstage, but that everything was under control. But to let me know that Donovan was going to walk through this actor's role, holding the script, so that the rehearsal could keep going without pause. While he was doing this, when he was off stage, he was calling Northeastern about the need to get cleanup backstage. And because this actor had gotten sick on their own clothing, Donovan gave this actor his own shirt to wear home. Now, this was Valentine's Day, and he was wearing a really nice shirt. As I recall, it was a beautiful rose-colored, what's that lovely, what's that lovely expensive fabric? It was a nice corduroy shirt. Donovan helped this individual get a ride share. Donovan made sure that this individual had support on their way home. And after we completed the rehearsal, Northeastern custodial services still hadn't come, so Donovan, at 10 p.m., got a spill kit. He masked and gloved up, and he cleaned it up himself on his hands and knees in his undershirt. And when I asked him, maybe we can wait for custodial services to come, he just said, oh, it's okay, I trained for this, through his work at Merino. That's the sort of generosity and compassion and clarity and follow-through-ativeness that my assistant director brought to our process, and I know he brings that to every process that he enters into. As busy as he is, Donovan still finds time to volunteer, and during his co-op with the Boston Ballet, Donovan assistant taught third graders in ballet, Chinese fans, hip hop, Indian dance, and more, all over Zoom. As I mentioned, that night in rehearsal, Donovan gave an actor in distress the shirt off his own back, literally. And he would say, oh, it wasn't that big a deal. But I thought it was a big deal, and I'm so proud and honored that you have been graced with this award, and you're just a spectacular person, and I love you. So.
Thank you so much, C and Alumni Relations, for this award. To only be a fourth year and to still have one more year here, this really means a lot to me. I like to live by the Nina Simone quote, an artist's duty is to reflect the times. And I think we are in some crazy times right now. But one thing that I remember and that I often forget sometimes is the importance of our voice and how our voices have an impact and how it can change the world and change people's hearts. And so I want to thank so many people that have helped me to find my voice and to shape my voice and to help me to find my platform to continue to create art that means something to me and art that I love. I want to start off with my family, my mom and sister who are here, along with my brother and father at home, for teaching me how to use my voice to laugh and to sing and to just be crazy and wild at times. I want to thank two of my mentors who are here, Antonio Ocampo Guzman and the wonderful Melinda Lopez, for teaching me how to use my voice to not only change, but to question authority, and to make sure that if I don't have something, I can figure out a way to get it, and to encourage others to also use their voice as well. And my classmates, my other co-winners, for also just like being impactful in the world that we live in and changing. But most importantly, I want to thank my original mentor, Julie Henderson, who passed away in 2020, for being there and to teaching me how to love and how to lead from the heart and with purity and honesty, and for leading selflessly and making sure that there's humor everywhere and making sure that everyone is taken care of and treated the right way. And if it weren't for all of you, even in here, my family, my mom, my sister, I don't know where I'd be. And it means the world to me to be receiving this award. So thank you again.
Good evening. I'm Rick Davis, and I have the honor of joining you, not for the 17 years that the Compass Awards have been around, but I have had my good share of being part of this wonderful ceremony. I've served as the vice president as a part of university advancement for close to 8 years, and it's really quite lovely again to be here. I have been given 3 assignments. The sheet is short. It says, add congratulations, close the program, and invite people to enjoy food. So, you'll notice I made an edit on the close the program. We're not going to close the program. We're going to do something quite different, because I think, given what I've heard this evening, that has been consistent with what I have observed over the years with the Compass Awards recipients, this is not time to close. This is a time for a beginning. So let's start with this. Let's get the congratulations out of order. I'd like all of you that have received this much-deserved recognition to come forward and to flank and bring your award with you. And don't drop it. That would not be pretty. And then just, yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I want to do this. First of all, I see the cameras going, and that's really lovely. We appropriately, at the beginning, acknowledged a couple of our parents that are here with us, and I think that is so important. But I think equally important, when I look out into this room, I see a larger family. I see family of colleagues and supporters and friends and loved ones, but also award recipients. You, and Ren, I think you mentioned this, but what you may not have known, how many. There are close to 500 people watching you right now. And that's a testament to not only the love that these folks likely have, but also the admiration of what you have achieved. And so that's how I wish to extend my congratulations to you, is to make sure that you are seen, to make sure that we don't look at the backs of you, that for a moment, for 2 or 3 minutes, if you could stand here and be seen not only by these folks here that are here to support you and to who love you and who have been a part of the review process to award you this distinction, but also wave. You can do a wave at the 500 people. I want them to know we see you and we love you, and we're so really glad that you're watching and being with us. The Alumni Relations Office is really quite selfish in creating this program that's been in place for 17 years. You notice it's called a Compass Award. I don't know if this, I wasn't here 17 years ago, so I don't know where they got the word compass, and it may be in the bio or the QR code, but here's what it means to me, and here's why I'm going to look at each of you and tell you what my charge to you as the Vice President of Alumni Engagement, and I work for you. I see you, in addition to all the wonderful accolades that have been bestowed upon you, but you're ever more deserving of having this opportunity to be considered a compass for Northeastern University, where going forward, I can tell you, as your #1 fan, but also as someone that works for you, that stands ready to serve you in an alumni community, that we need you to be our compass. And so what I see this forward, why I am hopeful of why this is called the Accomplice Award Ceremony, is that you are our navigators going forward. That this is more than just you receiving a beautiful award and being supported and appreciated. But we fail you if we do not present an opportunity within alumni relations to create an opportunity for you to be our compass going forward. That's our job, to open that pathway forward. It is my request that each of you take that assignment. And so when we call upon you and we ask you to help us mentor, as many of you have done as students, we ask you to help us to be a speaker, we ask you to be there for others across the world, that you will take that forward. President Un has often said, and I give him credit for this, it's extraordinary, he will say to an entering class, we are not here to take care of you. You are here to take care of us. We are in your hands. And as I see this as you move forward, and Donovan, I know that you have another year with us as a student, but you eventually will graduate. And as you go forward, in this alumni community, enjoying close to 350,000 alumni in over 164 countries, I hope that you will carry forward this charge, this ask that I have of you before everyone watching, that you will be our compass. Because without that, we're lost. We will navigate in a direction that is misguided, might be well-intentioned, but it could be in areas and it could be involvements and opportunities that is not where we need to go. So I hope that you will consider that as well. And in that regard, family has been mentioned a couple of times, love and support, and even community has been mentioned. And I cannot stress to you enough, I've worked in this field for over 30 years, and I am astonished that many days and nights don't really feel like I'm working, because I really feel that you, each of you, and those of you here and those of you watching, have really embodied this sense of really embracing the value for community. And if we can do that, and Ren, you latched community with love, and that really spoke to me, because it's if you can do that, then what you're about to go into, you were students for a few years, but you will be alumni forever. And it will be the largest constituency of this university ever. With all due respect, not the faculty, not the staff, not the colleagues, not the students. The alumni body, you represent the largest constituency. And so if you can think about this notion of how important it is to keep community so highly valued, with a sense of love and nurturing and support, all that you have done thus far, and take that compass and do that with us, what a grand world it could be. Do you not agree? Not a grand world. You are our leaders. We're so very proud of you. Thank you so very much. And we look forward to being a part of your lives and you guiding us as going forward. Congratulations. Let's have some food. All right? And I'm going to step out and maybe let's go. Turn it up. Let's go. Go, go, go.